Alright, so last time we left off here in the space station, we already covered where you can build your Corvette, where the starships actually land, and we also spoke to this gentleman over here, who will not do anything for us at this time. So, let's continue. This right here is the Galactic Trade Terminal. As you can see, has things that we can buy from it, and we can sell things to it. We can also see here, price of things is variable. So, an item like the Autonomous Positioning Unit, price is down 1.7% from what it would normally be. If we want to buy one, there's a total of 158 that it offers, so we could, like, you know, buy 158. We don't have the money for it. But if you needed more than one, you could just select how many it is that you need, and it shows currently the price for one. You can also see here this denotes different pages. So this is just the first page. We can scroll down, see more items, scroll down, see more items. But we do need to use this to sell. Now currently, it's just looking in my Exosuit inventory. So most of these items I believe I'm keeping, but let's take a quick look. If I want to keep all this. You can see too that salvage data is worth a lot. So if you really needed to, you could sell this, but again, this is that like fifth form of currency. I would recommend against it. I'm also not 100% sure why it, you know, this shows what I have in my inventory as being highlighted, but then there's all these pages of other things that I can sell. Even though I don't have them, they still show up. I'm not 100% sure why. It looks like most of them are fish, so it's probably one of the updates that added a bunch of fish. I haven't experienced that yet, so I have no idea why all these are here. Anyway, there's nothing in my inventory that I actually need to sell at this time, but I can just click this, or you can see I can hit the button, switch over to my Starship inventory. Same sort of thing, it's got, you know, huge list of stuff that I can't sell, but at the very top I can go through. See, I don't need these vortex cubes. The demand is down, it's negative 2%, but I can still get 200,000 credits for it, so I'm going to go ahead and just sell all of them. And as you can see, when you go to sell, rather over here, when you go to sell, it defaults to the total amount, so if I only wanted to sell some of them, same thing, you just change the amount that you want to sell. But I'm just going to get rid of all of them. I don't need the Strider sausage. You can see here, this was that contraband that we found an episode or two back, and the demand is low for it because this looks like it's the local trade good of this system. So it was 50,000, I think, in my inventory, but because it's down 10%, well, that math doesn't add up. I'd probably put it in the Starship. Yeah, right here. Oh, no, it does say 50,000 units. Starship, sell. Okay. Regardless, I don't care that it's a little bit lower than what it otherwise would be. I'm not about to travel to another system to sell this, but later on in the game, there might be some items that you can find in one system that are more valuable in a different system, so holding on to it temporarily until you get to another system to be able to sell it might be advantageous. Let's see. These also sell for a decent amount, but again, I want these very badly, so we are definitely not selling those. Okay. Let's take a look at these ships out here. Oh, some of them are leaving before I can really get a look at them. That's okay. Truth be told, there's a particular type of ship that I'm looking for, and once I find it, you'll understand why I want it. So far, we haven't seen it yet, so. Although a hauler isn't bad. You can see this is a B class, and it's got 34 storage units, but wow, is that expensive. 21 million. Might have to make a trip and actually make some money here. Okay, remember when we built a base, and one of the things that we had to do was build a teleporter for that base? This is the station's teleporter. being rudely interrupted by a progression. Okay, so we can access this teleporter, and as you can see, this was our base, basic. So, if we wanted to, we could warp there right now. And right here is where you could add to favorites. It also tells you elements about the planet that your base is on. So, these were some of the details that we had on that planet, Paradise Planet. I'm not going to warp there right now. Next on the ground floor, this guy, the Cartographer, and then it's the name Vianov. But regardless, cartographers are important. The Korvax looks up, swiftly scans me, then reveals their catalog of maps and charts. Cartographic entity, something something data, something 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 for, something of, something 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 research for something. Ultimately, none of this matters because it just gives you a flat menu. What we can do is we can either ask for help, which I believe just gives a prompt of where we can find navigation data, which we already know where we can find that. We've covered that. But the important ones are these. We can either exchange for specific charts, which uses the navigation data that we've already recovered, or we can purchase a random map for 15 nanites. It's loud. So what we're going to do, I'm going to look at the specific charts. So as you can see, we can also sell our items to him. He's a shopkeep just like anything else. But more importantly, we can buy these maps. Each one of these he has 99 of, and I do believe if we just leave for a short amount of time and come back, he will restock them. So don't feel like you can't buy as many of these as you want. Essentially, you can. He has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different kinds of maps. There is the planetary chart, the secret cartographic data. So this gives us a secure site of interest. This might be something like the observatory that we were at before, or various other buildings. So these are actually kind of nice. You can also find manufacturing facilities, which give you a special technology point, which is kind of like what we use for the blueprints when we're working construction. A little bit different, but ultimately I will probably purchase some of these. These are planetary charts, emergency cartographic data. This is for like the distress beacon. So this is ones that I might be able to locate a derelict ship. I might be able to find a crashed freighter, things of that nature, where I'm seeking out a distress signal. This one is commercial cartographic data. So this is some kind of inhabited outpost. This could be a base that's on a planet where ships can fly to and from, and a couple other things. Alien cartographic data. This one shows me those ruined locations. The ones that we've already accessed a couple of them so far in game, where I can either choose to learn a word or locate the ruins of the aliens, which is actually, it ties into this one, a dig site cartographic data. So this, when we talked about going to those ruins and having the option to either find or gain knowledge or find another location where there's treasure, this sort of skips that step and just takes us straight to the treasure. So if you want a couple extra words, you might want to use something like this. And if you want to find some treasure, you might use something like this. This one is the Exosuit upgrade chart, the encrypted navigation data. This one is just flat. If you get this one, it just takes you to a pod where you can get an inventory upgrade. This is the only option, so there's no variability here. All these other ones, I believe every single one of these, there's like anywhere between 2 or 5 different sorts of places that the map can lead you, so there is a little bit of variability. For example, if you're hoping to get a new starship and you buy 10 of these, only 3 of them may actually lead you to a ship that you can then add to your collection. The other 7 may lead to other kinds of distresses. But this one, 100% you use this, it shows you a drop pod, so that's nice. This last one, is for settlements. A specialist planetary chart, this takes you to an actual settlement, like a series of buildings that are on a planet's surface that has the alien race, the dominant alien race of the system actually living there. So these can take you to a settlement. Settlements, I believe, under certain conditions, you're able to essentially become like an overseer of the settlement, which can then make it so that you're earning passive income from something they produce. I haven't really looked into it too much. I've only ever naturally found one settlement, so I don't know too much about them. But they must be some kind of valuable because, as you can see, you need to exchange 5 navigation data for one of these charts. Same thing with the artifact and exosuit. You need 3 for each map that you get, and these ones are all just one-offs. So that may be why these are a little more a variable, whereas these ones more expensive because it's guaranteed. This guy will be very important for us, or rather for me, because I like having an absolutely huge amount of storage, and right now I am missing so many slots, it's kind of bugging me. But again, we can't actually make the items necessary to be able to get the exosuit upgrade whenever I get to one of those drop pods, so there's no point in buying them yet. As for the bottom floor, there is a couple more things. Let's go to the back here. This right here is Starship Outfitting. As you can see by the hologram, it's currently looking at my starship that I've got on the pad back there. What I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to use this, but first, let's swap to my other ship. So now this is that one that I found that was derelict. And now you can see the hologram is updated to reflect that.
Drones deployed to target Starship SE-7, Sawaniwa. Available operations, upgrade class and/or storage or melt ship into scrap.
So right here, Starship Outfitting, it allows us to either question where we can find upgrades, we can upgrade the starship, or we can begin salvage analysis. Let's go through each one of the options. Where can we find upgrades?
Use this outfitting station to increase the size of the starship inventory or improve its base stats by upgrading its glass. Upgrades to specific functions, such as weapons or engines, can be purchased from technology merchants.
So right there, if I can find a technology merchant, I can get some upgrades for it. But ultimately, it just gives us clues as to what we can do to upgrade our ship. If we actually click Upgrade Starship,
augment inventory storage or improve starship class. Improve storage for free with storage augmentation units.
so if I had an augmentation unit, I'd be able to upgrade the storage, just like I've got that one for the multi-tool. I don't have one for a starship, so I can't actually do that yet. Another thing, too, is I can just flat out purchase more storage, but it's 13 million units, and I believe that figure is based on how many storage units you already have unlocked. So it doesn't count damaged storage units, it just counts total possible currently. So if I had the money and paid this, it would cost 13,000 for one slot, and then it would only add one slot and cost more for the next one. There's also upgrading the class. I know I talked about that earlier. I wasn't sure if you could. It looks like right here for 25,000 nanites, I could change this from a B class to an A class, because that is what this ship was. But again, I can't do any of these. I don't want to do any of these because this ship was screwed up when I found it. So instead, we go back into the menu. I can begin salvage analysis.
Salvage analysis complete. Select desired operation. Extract high-value scrap metals or harvest reusable customization module.
You have two options here. You can either claim the scrap, which gives you this amount of units based on all of the factors to consider for your ship. Because mine has a bunch of broken parts, that actually decreases the value of the ship, but it's sort of a cost-benefit analysis. I don't want to invest a ton of material into fixing the ship up, especially when I don't even have a lot of that material. So instead, I'll just take whatever money I can get. This option, however, if we click this one,
Warning, Starship SE-7 Sawaniwa will be destroyed along with all cargo. Select desired customization module to confirm salvage operation.
you can kind of build your own starships. What you need are the various pieces of the starships. So in this case, I could salvage the hull, which is the center part. I could salvage the left wing, which in this case is this one. It's kind of deconstructed here, but it's these double wings and this little thruster-looking thing. Or the right wing, the wing on the opposite side of the ship, the one that's kind of angled upward. Once you have enough parts for a starship, you can build your own. In this case, we have the Corvette system, which I haven't really invested deep into, but that one seems like it's also a shipbuilder, and it's much more forgiving. So rather than deal with this and save ship parts, the currency for me, in my case, is better. So I'm going to go ahead and leave again. Let's go back, begin salvage analysis. This time we're going to claim the scrap worth.
Warning, Starship SE-7 Sawaniwa and all cargo will be destroyed. Confirm salvage decision.
Going to go ahead and claim the scrap. Oops. I need 2 open inventory slots in order to do it. I currently don't have 2 inventory slots, so let's go ahead and switch back. It's actually really nice that if I were to want to scrap a starship and it's going to give me items, that it doesn't actually waste any of those items. Okay, I think that's more than 2 slots last time I checked. So, make sure if you're like me and just dumped a bunch of stuff into your good ship that you switch back to the bad ship. Let's try this one more time. Salvage analysis. Claim the scrap. Claim the scrap.
Salvage drones deployed. Starship SE-7 Sawaniwa will be immediately processed for scrap. Salvaged components will be added to customer exosuit automatically.
Okay. So I just destroyed my ship. And as we can see, it disappeared from the pad and instead reloaded the only other ship that I have on a different pad. We can also see it gave me some items here. It gave me, there's like 4 specifically. Gave me a couple of B-class modules, which if you really need the modules, you could obviously open these up and use them. I, however, am aiming for S-class or higher. I find I'd rather just get the nanites from selling anything lower than that, so I'm going to go ahead and sell these for nanites. These items are items that we got from just the ship scrap. 216,000 units for these, and almost 1 million units for this. So that is incredible. I want to make sure to sell those. Let's go back to the point of sale here. Sell, it's in my exosuit. Okay, sell those. Sell those. Just like that, I'm sitting at 1.5 million units. And because we just got a boatload of money, I'm up to capitalist, 8 out of 10 stars. This right here is where you would be able to fabricate a new starship in the event, in the event that you took pieces from derelict ships. So we can see here, in order to make a ship, you need a fuselage, you need a reactor core, you need wings, you need thruster. Obviously, we saw we could take the fuselage or wings from the ship that we had. The thruster and reactor core is procured from one of the merchants on the upper floor. So we don't have any pieces. You can see the different kinds of pieces that you could have. We can also see down here, to a better screen, we can also see down here, you can change the style of ship that you want. So we had a fighter, which is the ship that we currently have, hauler, explorer, a solar, which are really interesting ships, and those are the 4. You might be able to unlock more of them later, I don't know. I've never really done this system. I just like to find the ships either derelict and repair them myself, or I'll just buy them off of people when they land, say, here in the space station. This little area here is an appearance modifier, which might be of great interest to everybody. This is where we can choose what we look like. We kind of spawn into the game looking a particular way, and this is the first point where we're able to change how we look. So right now, we are Anomaly. But if you like, you can look like one of the little Get guys, or one of the Vakeen. I like his gold horns, that's cool. Korvax, if I wasn't sort of dedicated to just being Anomaly, I would contemplate doing Korvax. Or there's Travelers. These look really weird. You can see there's also a locked race. I don't know when it's unlocked, at some point in the future, I'm sure. But for now, there's going to be a lot of options that I can't select because we just haven't progressed far in the game. Let's go back to Anomaly. I'm going to go ahead and customize myself, so I'll probably just speed through this process. But you can see you've got different presets, you've got different body shapes. I particularly like whatever the tallest one is. And then we have different helmet types. A random one is unlocked at 36, but otherwise you can just sort of cycle through, see what it is that you like. Me personally, I have a hard time deciding between number 2 and number 6. But I think I'm going to go with number 6 because I like the little gold motif that's on it. You can also then change the color. So you can have a primary color and then an accent color. In this case, you see the primary is most of the helmet, changed from white to red. And the accent in this case is like the glass, the mask that's on the front. I like this, it kind of makes it look gold. I'm going to go with the orange. We can also add extra accents. So now you saw some of that white turn to black. That's now another accent that we can color, depending on how in-depth you want to go with your coloration. For me, I think I'm going to stick with a sort of black and gold motif. Okay, now we come to the backpack. So here you can actually customize your jetpack trail, which is like really cool. Just the problem is I don't have any of them, so I can't change it. But as soon as I get some of these, that would be awesome. I really hope these aren't locked behind expeditions because I don't really plan on doing the current expedition. I know there's a way that you can access old expeditions when they're not in circulation, but it's not something I was going to mess with for probably a long time. So I really hope this is something that's disgusting. I really hope this is something that you can get in the base game and don't have to do the expeditions for. Some of these are just so cool. Okay. Otherwise, we currently also only have one backpack style. A weird retro one, or just sort of the default. Love to see more of these. You can also, I believe, do a cape in lieu of a backpack. So, like, you can't see the backpack. Instead, you just have a cape, which is really cool. But I sort of live by the Edna Mode school of no capes. I'm going to stick with my backpack. And we can also have different markings on the backpack. I think I'm going to try... What do I want? That one's kind of basic. That one's like an arrow. That one looks kind of cool. Maybe I'll do this one. And then, yeah, just like racing stripes. I think I'm going to go for this one. Black as the base color. We'll do the orange that I've kind of been rocking, trying to get that gold color going. And then what here? Well, this just changes like a couple of little lines up here in this little circle. So I'm just going to make that black. And blend it all back together again. Okay, and now we have a banner. I'm looking snazzy with my gold. We have a banner here, so we can select a new title. Currently, it's just my name. But if I go to new title, it looks like these also carry over from other save files because I have not interacted with a single Gek so far in this save file. But as you can see, it shows that I'm rank 7 with the Gek, and I'm not. So this is universal through like all of your saves. So you can actually see how much I've actually done with some of these people. It's like I haven't really done much with the Merchants Guild, but I've completed my first Explorers Guild assignment. I haven't done any of these with question marks, so there should be one in here. Since I'm so gold, I want one that's like money-based, and I know there's one in here somewhere. Let's see here. Magnet. Advanced ranks in the unit's accrued milestone. That makes me a magnet. Magnate. Go with that. And then for my emblem, it changes the little symbol that's back here. So, you know, you can get like the nanite symbol, or you can get compass, racing flag, etc., etc. I'm probably going to do this one because it's units, but we'll just kind of click through the ones that I have access to. Go back to units, and then we can change. This is the primary color, and this is the secondary color. So as you can see, if I switch that to black, switch this to gold, there we go. Now I got some nice contrast happening here, and the units actually look gold, so that's a good switch. Once you have an outfit that you're amenable to, what you can do is you have stored outfits. I think you only have these 6. You can go ahead and click store, rename it. I'm just going to name this default. Go ahead and accept. You can rename it, you can trash it, you can override it by probably deleting it and then saving over the now empty save slot. But for now, this is the new me. I'm going to go ahead and save those changes. Here we are. Not looking too bad. I'm not crazy about the shoes, but I really like the armored look. Yeah, I really like the armored look. Wish the shoes looked better, but what can you do? Okay, that is the bottom floor, except for this little secret nook over... Sir? Sir? Do you know your Sir? Sir? Aw. He's so impressed with my new look, he's actually levitating off the ground. He doesn't even want to speak to me. That's funny. Whew. Okay. Thought we had a ghost. As you can see, this gentleman over here is a fossil collector. I would not be able to have guessed that based on any sort of context clues. If we talk to him, we can get most of his sentence, but we can browse his fossil archive. As you can see, he has a number, an absolute massive number of various fossils, including tails, you got rib cages, you got legs, you got arms, you got skulls, just an inordinate amount of skulls. And ultimately, we can either sell stuff to him, which includes fossils, or we can barter. We can try to trade. So if we wanted this fossil in particular, we might be able to trade other fossils to get it. There is odds involved. I've never actually done this, so I don't know how easy or difficult this is to trade with this fossil collector. But if you're interested in a particular fossil, like you think, oh, this skull looks really cool, I'd like to be able to put that up in my house or my base, then you could come here and trade for just about anything, it looks like. This gentleman over here, which appears to be just a junk vendor, he is the scrap dealer Spee. He's the gray market operator. Gray market. If you haven't picked up on the context clues, this gentleman runs a black market stall. A series of lights flash across the lifeform's visor. A tingle runs across my scalp. It feels unpleasant, as if my thoughts have been rummaged through. I can get coordinates that are 5 million units in value, apparently. I believe the coordinates take me to a derelict freighter in space that I can sort of rifle through and get some valuable items, maybe, perhaps. Otherwise, let's just ask what they're selling. Traveler entity seeks new places to explore. Such places exist. They float from system to system. Abandoned wrecks. They can be revealed for a price. The Korvax awaits my decision. Now, exactly why I can understand all of that, as opposed to when he speaks normally, I'm not 100% sure if there's a lore reason, or if it's just because I believe this was something added in one of the multitudinous updates over the years, and so rather than needing to get language stones to be able to talk to them, they just make it so that you can understand what he says. We can also go here and purchase old scrap. As you can see, he has a 6th type of currency, which we have none of. He trades specifically for an item called Tainted Metal. I believe you can get that from the Derelict Freighters. The coordinates he'll sell you for 5 million units. So essentially, this is one big trade. You trade 5 million units to him, he gives you a location, you go raid that location, you get Tainted Metal, come back here, and then you trade him for his stuff. He's got contraband, just like we found in that crashed ship. He's also got repair kits, which are really nice. This is a thing that you can use to fix up something that's busted, like that ship that we sold. We scrapped it for units. We could have used these to fix those slots without needing the actual material to do so. So like there was one that was activated copper. I have never accessed activated copper, but if I got a repair kit, I could just clean out that slot without needing to have access activated copper. He also sells some interesting decorations, like this horrific flesh helmet. That's kind of disturbing, honestly. It even says right here that this is something that can change the appearance of our exosuit. So maybe if I were to spring for this with 3,200 Tainted Metal, it would unlock a new customization option. Otherwise, we got some decals, some bespoke personal identification. I've never really touched any of this. I don't know exactly how important some of this stuff is, but it's here. So at some point, one of these episodes, we'll get around to it. I also don't have 5 million units to give him, and even if I did, I've got better things to spend it on, like starships. Like this starship. Oh my god. Okay, so this is an exotic ship. These are special. There is one in any given system. So this is the one that is in our system currently. It is always guaranteed to be an S-Class. We can see it's got 30 storage units, 28 tech units. It's exotic. 41 million units. I wish I had 41 million units. I'm not super good with the color scheme, but red, gold, and black, that's kind of what I got going on my armor. A little bit of red, not a ton of it, but still. It's a shame I don't have the currency for this. It's also got an interesting little beak on it. Anyway, this is going to be the end goal within the next few episodes. I obviously don't have the currency to buy this right now, but I know that it exists in this system, and thankfully, because there's only one exotic ship per system, it's only a matter of time before I find this ship again. And when I do, I'm going to buy it, I'm going to use it. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe I'll travel to another system and see what that exotic looks like. Because again, this one's not... It's not super high up on my list. I'm not vibing with the big dorsal fin that's on it. The little engines are kind of nifty, and the sphere in the center is kind of cool. Tail is cool. Little mosquito nose on the front end is kind of cool. Yeah, the red kind of clashes a little bit with it, but ultimately, rather than buy just any old ship that lands, exotics are the ones that I'm going to be gunning for. And probably a lot of people gun for the exotic ships because they just look so cool. It's a shame that I can't buy it right now. Oh well. C'est la vie. Also, if you didn't notice, I didn't bring it up before, but if you just... Oh. There it goes. I didn't bring it up before, but if you just stand roughabouts where your ships can land, you can see a good swath of the entire space station. And there's little signs everywhere, so if you need help remembering what's where, this is the exosuit symbol, which means the exosuit guy is there. This is a multi-tool symbol, so there's multi-tools there. You know, this is a little map marker right here, so that's the Cartographer. This is a big swirly, so teleporter, etc., etc., etc. We finished the bottom floor. Let's go take care of the top floor. There's nothing up here on these sides. You might occasionally be able to find something like this, encrypted navigation data. So, you know, I didn't get any nav data from it, but I got some nanites. It's not many, but I got some. Something like this, vulnerable server. Gives me some credits, some units. Even things like here, this is a vulnerable server. I can get more units. Let's see what else I can find. There are these sorts of tables. This is where you can do hollow arena stuff. You can fight with creatures. I've never done any of it, but there's, I think, 2 spots on every space station that you can do that, so that's something to keep in mind. Let's see. I'm looking along the ground here because sometimes there's right here. See, encrypted navigation data just stashed right next to one of these things. Let's see if there's anything else around here. No. Nothing here. Let's take a look around these ones. No. No. Oh. Up here, here's another navigation data. Alright. Take a peek back in the shelving here. I'm not seeing anything. You can use your jetpack inside. I probably have already done it a couple of times and just didn't mention, so you can get up high. But some areas are just inaccessible. Even with your jetpack, you can see there's a boundary here. It doesn't want me going any further inside that. Here's the other one of the hollow arenas. Did I grab this? Did I grab this navigation data? I must have. Okay. So now let's run through the top areas real quick. Starting right here, we have the technology merchant. This is specifically for exosuits. Right next to every technology merchant in a space station, we have an exosuit upgrade. This is like the exact same thing you'll see in those pods we keep talking about. As you can see, we can get an upgrade for free. All I have to do is click Upgrade Exosuit, and it gives me an inventory slot. Now, before you go ahead and click Upgrade Exosuit, it should be known you can pick the location of the actual upgrade. If you don't want it right here, if you want to say fill this hole, just click the hole, and it moves the item, or the slot rather, to wherever you click. I talk about those 5 elements that we should have all the time, or the 4 elements we should have all the time. I guess 5 maybe if we count silicate powder, but oxygen, carbon, sodium, ferrite. I want to put this here so that I can move oxygen up, and those are the big 4. I'm going to go ahead and click upgrade, but remember too, if you don't want it in storage, it can also go in technology. So the technology, it looks like it actually will cost 1,000 units in order to upgrade, but for this, it's completely free. Now I have an extra inventory slot just like that. If I talk to this gentleman, Technology Merchant Benoya offers installable exosuit upgrades in exchange for nanite clusters. Let's go ahead and purchase. As you can see, we've got different kinds of upgrade modules for our exosuit, and I'm specifically looking for S rank ones. S or higher, but I don't think he'll sell anything higher than S. Unfortunately, thermal protection are ones that I'm not interested in. And you can also see, because this is a Korvax and I'm starting to get in good with the Korvax, they give me a small discount on my stuff when I want to buy it. As my standing with them increases, the discounts get higher, so I'm glad he doesn't really have anything that I really want to buy because, well, I can wait and get bigger discounts later. I'm going to go ahead and sell, though. I don't need this pulse engine module, which is 140 more nanites. I don't need the hyperdrive, 138 nanites. Let's go to Starship. This is an S. I'm keeping this one. But this is only an A. Sell that. Going to sell that. Made some nanites. Cool beans. Now we come over here to the Technology Merchant Multi-Tool Research. I go ahead and click this. Talks to me. I can't understand, but it's the exact same concept. I can get upgrades for my multi-tool. Now again, I'm looking for S. Kinda sucks because he only has one S, and it's the plasma launcher module, and I don't even have a plasma launcher on my on my multi-tool, so this really doesn't help me at all. This is kind of very sad. Oh well. Another important thing to note is on either side of the multi-tool research, we have these two cases. The cases have a weapon inside of it, and we can actually take a look at them. This one is really nice. It's an A-class, which I don't have an A-class right now, and it comes with 3 things installed on it that I don't have. A bolt caster, a blaze javelin, and a gravitino coil. Bolt caster is kind of the basic sort of gun that you can get. I can actually make it on mine, I just haven't got around to doing it yet. Blaze javelin is almost closer to like sniper, kind of. It's a charge fire where you hold, and then when you release, you fire one big bolt, and it can, I believe, pierce through multiple enemies. I'm not a fan of this particular style, but if you're kind of more the quote-unquote sniper play style, you might enjoy this. And then there's the gravitino coil. This, I believe, is used... Oh, it says right there, industrial waste manipulation device. You can use this to manipulate the debris that we found on some of the planets that we really haven't interacted with. Because this is also an A-class, it has these supercharged slots, and it's got 3 of them. The higher the class, the more slots you get. A has 3, S, I believe, has 4, which means B would have 2, and C would have 1. Now what I can do is I can compare this with my current multi-tool, and we can see that if I had 2 million units, which I was really close to but don't quite have, I'd be able to purchase this. You can also exchange your multi-tool or the new multi-tool, but again, even if I were to exchange it, I just don't have the money for it. If we go to the other side, you see this one is different. Just like the Exosuit, where there is a spot next to the shop, we can also access the multi-tool upgrade station.
Augment technology slots or improve multi-tool class. Add slots for free with a multi-tool expansion slot.
Now, I have a multi-tool expansion slot. I could use the multi-tool expansion slot. I'm not going to, though. I'm not going to keep this Exo-tool forever. Or Exo-tool. I'm not going to keep this multi-tool forever. I'm not going to waste my expansion slots on it. I'm not going to waste my units. I mean, maybe a little bit. If I get a decent amount of currency, I might buy some slots, and I'm definitely not going to upgrade the class, because we saw, like, just walking into this station, there's a B class on one side and A class on the other. I really don't need to upgrade my starting multi-tool to match to a higher class. I can just find a better one. Okay, we come over here. This is the technology merchant. This is Starship Research. We talk to him. Technology merchant Errol Scomp offers installable Starship upgrades in exchange for nanite clusters. Can't understand what you're saying, my guy. Sorry about that. That's on me, not you. Purchase upgrade modules. Here is where we would get the reactors if we were building our own starships. I'm probably not going to do that right now. Maybe. I mean, definitely not, because if anything, I would want the S-Class, but regardless, he sells regular upgrades too for starships. An S Infraknife module. I don't know much about the Infraknife. I think it's a weapon. I think it's for your starship. I've never had one. I hear it's good, so this is cool that he's got that. Otherwise, he's got an S-Class for the launch thruster. That might be really good. I'm not going to buy one now, though. It's 591 nanites. I just broke 3,000, so that would knock me back under. And I'm only getting a discount of 18. If I wait until I'm higher up with the Korvax, this could be much cheaper. We also have this gentleman here. This is Exocraft Research. I don't know too much about exocrafts. I don't think I've ever gotten one, but apparently there's like maybe a rover you can get, or some kind of mech suit, or like a submarine, I think, to help explore various planets. So these would be exactly the same thing. Upgrades for those. We also ran past Gladys's bigger, probably more mentally stable cousin? I don't know. This is the Station Core, Flight Path and Landing Overseer. We can select it.
Life support systems, stable. Commercial monitoring, online. Flight path management, 84% efficiency. Atlas, A-run, surveillance, uplink, functional.
I have no idea what these do. I've never gotten a station override, I've never gotten a forged passport, but apparently using these, you can mess with the computer? I don't know what an override code is. Restore standing makes me think if I was to do, like, piracy in the system, that this would be a way to sort of, like, bypass a bounty on my head, perhaps? I don't know that for a fact, but the option exists. Alrighty, and the last person that's important, that's like super important, would be the Envoy. This is, I guess let me actually back up. This is the Envoy for, I believe that's the Mercenaries Guild. Click them again. Yep, Envoy lib of the Mercenaries Guild. My guild rank is currently unknown. These are items that I could get from him if I was in good standing with the guild. I currently have 0 standing with them. I have done nothing for them. In order to get in good with them, what I could do is I could donate items. I could donate these various items in exchange for standing with the guild. I know where to get these 3 items, which means I could get those items, donate them to this Envoy, and build my reputation with the mercenaries. Once I do, I can collect some of this stuff for free, not that I would want any of it. Maybe this S module, Sentinel Boundary Map is kind of nice, but you can get lots of those. Don't want that, don't need that immediately, and you can make these pretty cheap. But regardless, getting in good with the Mercenaries Guild would be cool. Okay, that was a lot to cover in just an hour. Sorry, there really wasn't any action or anything going on. Last episode, I talked about these guys right here. Oh my god, 112 million units, but he's got 48 slots. That's so nice. There's a strategy that I employed in my limited time playing in my other save file where I owned maybe 3 different starships, and I sort of used them for bonus storage. So that's definitely something that I want to be able to do with these, or I guess sometime soon. So probably next episode I'll do a little more in the story, and I will probably spend... Actually, yeah, next episode I'm definitely going to progress the story. I'm going to get to the point, hopefully, where I can make the antimatter housing, which is one of the items that we need for the exosuit upgrades. And then once I can do that, I'm going to go through and use all these maps, probably buy a bunch more maps, and get a ton more slots for my inventory, so that then I can go and collect a bunch of Corvette parts, sell those for units, and then I'll have units to be able to purchase maybe that exotic ship if I see it again. Maybe I'll use it to buy a big ship that comes in that's got 48 slots on it so that I can use it for storage. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. Last thing I want to talk about before I end the episode, though, is every single one of the people here that isn't a shopkeep or isn't the 2 people that are standing on the hollow arenas, every single one of them you should take the time to talk to. We're going to talk to this guy right here. Obviously, we can't understand him, but what we can do instead is we can learn from everyone here. It seems I have interrupted the Korvax during their maintenance routine. They appear to have been applying some sort of lubricant to their carapace, but the task is unfinished. Perhaps they feel uncomfortable doing so in my presence. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to run around and talk to everybody. I'll probably do that off camera since it's kind of boring. But the first thing you do is request dialect help. Interface, entity, Honden buzzes their acknowledgement. They offer a list of language symbols, a choice of subjects to learn. Pick any one of these. Pretty much this early in the game, there's so many words that I'm missing, I could pick any one of these. So I'm going to do Korvax symbol. And now I learned the word for carapace. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to talk to him again. It'll be the exact same dialogue, but you've now learned something from them. So now what you can do is practice language skills. So now, interface entity Kaden's attention is wholly, intimidatingly focused on me. I recall several Korvax words I might say to them. What word you pick, seemingly, will alter what you can or won't get from the interaction. I'm specifically going to try, with the Korvax, I'm going to try to focus on words that are technology related. So in this case, knowledge might be a good word, because the Korvax seem really dedicated to trying to learn more, expand their horizons, science, etc. So let's try knowledge. Interface entity Condon seems inspired by my choice of word. They chatter back excitedly. The sentence is too long and complicated for me to follow. Okay, it was a good word choice, but I didn't get anything as a result. Let's try on another Korvax real quick before I end this. The electronic life form looks at my biological frame with something approaching pity. Not for the first time, I wonder what lies beneath the entity's mask. Let's learn a word real quick. I'm going to do a mystery symbol this time. I learned the word for I. Now, we'll talk to him again, practice language skills. I inhale, thinking through some of the Korvax words I am confident of pronouncing. Research, that's kind of science-based. Let's try that one. This topic ignites a passion in research entity Odin. They produce a complex set of data graphing out the trends from a set of experiments. Though I cannot follow it, they seem pleased to have the opportunity to share. So now right there, my standing increased with the Korvax by 1, just because I picked a decent dialogue option. Is it guaranteed to go up? No. If sometimes you can pick something that's insulting to them, or if they're a religious entity and you happen to say an important figure's title or name, that might be something that they don't like, and so ultimately your standing may go down, or they may just be insulted by what you say and you don't gain a reward. If you've already spoken to somebody, it'll say visited under their name, which is really important because there's like 15 people up here that I can talk to. And obviously, if I do Corporal Weifeng here, he is a Vy'keen. He's not going to teach me a Korvax word, he'll teach me a Vy'keen word. And I can do the exact same sort of thing with him. This race seems to do better if you pick like warrior words or brave words, courageous words, and then there's also the Gek, these little guys right here. These guys prefer like trading, commerce, economy, that kind of stuff, so just keep that in mind when you're selecting words. Again, I don't think it's 100%, but I just think there is a little bit of a trend there. But sometimes the words that you have as options, if you only have a few limited words, which I don't think I have any Gek words, so it might not even be worth it. I might only know the one word that he'll teach me. Regardless, I'm actually going to talk to him real quick because there is one final thing that we didn't cover. The scent of this life form is as pleasant as it is intoxicating. There is pride in their eyes, perhaps as a result of the flowery gas that has engulfed the both of us. So I can't actually talk with him because I don't have any words yet. But I do have that Gek relic that we picked up a while back. I can give that to him. Sales Gek Gliju accepts my gift with gratitude. So now I gave him that item. It didn't pop up on my screen. Oh, okay, so it didn't pop up on my screen, but I do have 1 point, 1 standing with the Gek because I gave them that relic. You can even see from their background they got credits and stuff here, so it kind of shows you what they're all about, little circuitry technology sort of system. So anyway, thanks everyone so much for watching. This episode was just a very informational one. I do apologize for not really having any action in this one, but again, this is sort of a really important location in the game, and as a result, I felt it necessary to kind of go through, talk about everything as best I knew, and ultimately, we will get back to the tasks at hand. So, thank you again for watching. May your RNG be kind and the desire sensor be blind. Goodbye for now, but not for long.